Hey friends, what's going on? Just driving home from the gym. My friend Mike and I were having a conversation over the weekend and then through text messaging last couple days about human stupidity. And I really want to push this home because it's so important, and it's something most people really don't consider, especially the ones who are stupid, frankly. But the main point I want to make is that human beings, as a default, are not stupid. All right, we are made stupid as part of a very evil, satanic agenda. Not only to make us, pliable and malleable to a system that oppresses us, but also as a satanic kind of insult to God. If you believe that man was created in God's image, just walk into any Walmart, all right, and look at people, especially where I live down here in the South. It's really, really bad, guys. Walk into Walmart and just look around, and then look around and imagine this person, that person, just about everybody in there, is an abomination if in the context of man being made in the image of the Creator, right? They're fat, they're sick, they're dumb looking, they have no life in their eyes, they're soulless, they're mouth breathing, hunched over, terrible posture. Most of them can't even, not most, but a lot of them can't even walk on their own. They're driving around in their little buggies. They're younger than me and they're crippled by their lifestyle and by what's been done. So I want to get into that because it's so important, and I don't really think most people understand how awful and how sinister the whole thing is. So when you were, and it's really bad now. I'm Generation X, so I gotta be careful not to use the V word. That's why I'm actually re-recording this, because I think I slipped and used the V word a whole mess of times. But when I was born, I don't know what injections I got when I was born. I really don't. I mean, I remember getting maybe booster shots, and I remember getting very sick from one of them, very, very sick. I don't know if it was a flu shot or any, I don't know if it was a quote unquote well visit. Parents, there's no reason to take your healthy baby to a well visit ever. Don't do it. Because you will find that you get enough well visits, they start to become unwell. But it really starts when you're born. It's like, I don't think we had this when I popped out into the world. Like, you get a vitamin K, which there's a reason why newborns are low in vitamin K, and I don't even want to use the deficient word, because deficiency suggests that it's something that you need and don't have. Like, you don't have a vitamin K deficiency when you're born. There's a reason, and I don't remember why. I'd have to look it up real quick. I should have before I made the video, because there's a very, very, very good reason why newborns are deficient, and not deficient, I just said the word, or have low vitamin K. There's a reason for it. It's a good reason. It's normal. They're supposed to. And not only that, but it's a very injection is a very, very unnatural means of entering the body. Your systems aren't made to process anything that's injected to you. Something that you eat and goes through your digestive system and is absorbed or metabolized might be good for you, but then just because of when you eat it, it's good for you, doesn't mean that it's good for you when when you inject it. Like, I always use the mercury example. Some people say there's more mercury in a tuna sandwich than there is in an injection. Some of these injections. Yeah, but you don't inject the tuna sandwich directly into your bloodstream. You eat it, and you have a digestive system designed to filter out toxins. And who knows? I haven't even looked at it, because this kind of thing where I get the message, I have to put the phone down. But I don't even know what else is in the vitamin K injection. Probably a whole host of other abominations. Because when you look at any of the other injections, they're like a Nazi death camp experiment. All kinds of just vicious neurotoxins. Not even. I mean, you can take the thimerosal out, and you still get aluminum, all the adjuvants. Remember squalene during the swine flu? Squalene was fucking people up 6 ways to Tuesday. And then of course the infamous hepatitis B shot that they give the kids. You get hepatitis B from sharing needles and banging filthy prostitutes. But let's give the newborns a shot right out of the womb, like right before they start injecting heroin. That their parents, from the needle their mom gave them, that she shared with the junkie in the crack den, in the heroin den that the baby was born in, right? Like, I'm being sarcastic, obviously. There's no reason for it. And so anyway, right out of the womb, you're assaulted. You're under a full frontal assault of mind-destroying toxins. And now let's go back before I'm starting right now just from the generation now, but we've been like, there's been like a downward spiral of this, cumulative over generations, and we go back to at least like the 20th century, or maybe in the 1800s. Rudolf Steiner said that the shots eventually would be used to medicate the soul out of human beings. They would use it to just obliterate a person's soul. And then you fast forward to Bertrand Russell. He wrote a book in the 50s called The Impact of Science on Society, where he bragged about that they were going to almost create a subspecies of human by giving the plebeians, that's you and I, the mundanes, injections, medicine, poor nutrition food, and an education system based on the Prussian model that is designed to make us compliant and obedient, not really teach us how to think, but what to think. And then you have Aldous Huxley, of course. Brave New World, was it a warning or a blueprint? I don't know. You listen to his lectures, particularly the one I think it was at Berkeley, where he talks about the final revolution. Watch that speech, listen to it, absorb it, because, I mean, these are the things, they're not doing it, they're not thinking about it, they've done it, guys, it's done. And then you fast forward to the present day. Noah Yuval Harari, the satanic spiritual guru for the World Economic Forum, says that humans are now hackable animals. That whole idea that you and I have a soul and free will, that's over. That's a direct quote from him. It's over. And he's right. Because for most people, they have, it's all dark occult mind control. So right out of the womb and in your entire formative years, you are poisoned. Your mind is obliterated. The food, there's fluoride and MSG in the baby formula, in the baby water. They're given, they have bottled water for babies that has fluoride in it. They don't even have teeth yet. What do you give them fluoride for, right? And it's right out in the open, right? You're just obliterating their minds. Like in the dark occult circles, it's called creating an altar in the mind. And once the altar is created in your mind, the mind is gone. Like they speak, they can speak, and they can act, but subconsciously, there's a subconscious program in there that is telling them what to say and what to do. They don't even realize that their own words and actions are not their own. And that's where the birth of the NPC meme comes from. We laugh at it. It's hilarious. But it's not, because that's an actual thing. These people have no souls. They're avatars. They're golems. They have no soul. And this was an agenda that they bragged that they were going to do, and they're not doing it. They've done it. So human beings are not stupid. And if you're lucky enough to not have, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm. My friend Michael said I was chosen. I don't know why I ended up the way I am. I mean, I could attribute it to some really powerful spiritual psychedelic experiences in my youth. I also know that my, like I grew up in New Jersey, and believe it or not, whereas like 2/3 or more by now, I mean maybe 3/4 now, but back when I was first learning about this 20 years ago, 2/3 of all the municipal water supplies in the country were fluoridated. Well, in New Jersey, it's only 22%. In the town I grew up in did not fluoridate their water. And because of this, I can remember swishing with fluoride and taking fluoride tablets when I was in school, just being openly poisoned by my school nurse. She didn't know. I mean, I don't think she realized she was, trying to fry my mind a little bit. But anyway, for whatever reason, it didn't take. And Henry Bergeron has a quote about how, some people, fortunately, are just born with spiritual immune systems that, attack and kill the program, the virus program that's been installed in us our whole life. Like eventually, because there was a time when I was bought in. I wanted to nuke the entire Middle East, and I wanted to, and I voted for George W. Bush, which is the last time I voted in 2004. I voted for Bush, and then by the time somewhere between 2004 and 2008, I had something just turned on, like a switch just turned on to me, and I knew everything, and I realized, and I began the journey. But it's actually a spiritual journey too, because you can't just know what's going on in the world. Just knowing what's going on in the world is not enough, and a lot of people think it is enough, and it's because it's so obvious. Like once the light turns on in your mind, it becomes so obvious that the ego takes over, and it's like you forget that you used to think that way, and you start just shitting on and judging all the people who haven't woken up yet, because how can you not wake up to this? It's so freaking obvious. Well, if it was so obvious, everybody would see it, first of all, and it is that obvious. But the programming has taught people this thing called cognitive dissonance, so they can see it if they want to, but subconsciously they don't want to, because seeing it subconsciously would just eradicate all kinds of programs in their mind of the way they want the world to be, and the way they want to live, and the way they want to think, and they don't want to do it. And you are not better than them. It's kind of like the Matrix, the second Matrix Reloaded, where Neo meets the architect and realizes that he's not really the one. He's not really the savior. He's just a part of the program. There's levels. There's certain levels, like they couldn't balance the equation fully so that everybody was in. Everybody accepted the programming. There was a remainder, and there were variables in the equation that they had to account for. So that's why they created the one and all of these rare people who could see, and that's, so you have to realize that once you figure out the way the system oppresses us, you have to realize that that's just the first layer. And if you stay there and you just go around, peacocking to everybody about how smart you are, then you're still stuck in the system. You're still programmed. You're like controlled opposition. And you don't realize it. You're still unconscious, and you're still within the overall mechanisms of the machine, thinking that you're fighting the machine, but really you're propping it up. So if you're just on Facebook talking about how stupid everybody is, and and you're just a bunch of morons, especially if you're laughing at people who are like outwardly mentally ill, like the leftist gender dysmorphia type people. Those people are victims. They didn't choose to be, to hate themselves and to want to mutilate themselves. Like, that's satanic, and they don't realize it. And a lot of the things that, like I said, going back to that full frontal assault, a lot of the things that are under assault are our hormones. And I don't think people realize how, you don't want to mess with someone's hormones. And all of the endocrine disruptors, the soy that is in everything, The atrazine that they spray on the crops, it's a pesticide. You know, that whole Alex Jones meme about turning the frogs gay, that was atrazine, and that is real. That gets into the rainwater runoff, and it messes with the frogs and the fishes' hormones, and they get gender dysmorphia, and it actually, in some cases, it actually turns them from male to female, or female to male, like literally. And everybody, you know, and then of course the culture, the satanic culture, who's promoting this as if it's normal, or saying, oh, you can be whatever you want to be, and then, you know, on the right hand side, they know that it's mental illness, but they're making fun of it. Like, why would you make fun of mental illness? It's like somebody has a motorcycle accident and suffers brain damage, and you're making fun of him because now he's mentally impaired, mentally incapacitated. Like, why would you do that? Like, these people have had their minds and their hormones fucked with, and they don't, you know, they need, if anything, they need help and support and love. And if you're laughing at them and just, like, you know, thinking it's some kind of, oh, they're just libtards and shit libs, like, you're not going to get to the root of the problem to fix it. And it's so widespread and getting more widespread, especially this bill that I'm seeing that just really opens the floodgates on pesticide use and just unregulated, you know, they don't have it. There's, you know, they have protection from liability. Like, you're gonna see some shit, and it's nothing to laugh about. Like, society's dying. What do you think? This is funny? You think it's funny that society is dying? You think it's funny that, you know, that we have generations who are, you know, you ever see Idiocracy 500 years into the future? Like, they couldn't even they couldn't even grow food. That's how dumbed down they were. Like, we're headed towards that, guys. That's the agenda. You know, and it's not funny. It's not funny, and you're not better than people if you see it, and they don't see it. And if you think you are, then you're part. If you're making fun of people who are mentally ill, you're mentally ill. So, you know, start striking the root is the point of this whole talk. You know, the root is that we're under attack, and the people that you're making fun of are victims of this attack. And you're not special because somehow you're not one of them. You might not be one of them, but you're still trapped in the system. And once you realize that, staying out of the system is a constant, unrelenting practice. Like it doesn't end until you die. Like, you're in the process, you're in there forever. First of all, like, evolving doesn't end. You're in a constant process of unfolding. But not only, and then, like, I was in my late 30s or mid 30s when I started to figure this out. So that means I have 35 years of programming that I have to deprogram myself from. And I'm only 16 years hence. Do you think that I'm going to just completely wipe the program clean, the habits and everything clean in those 35 years and 15 years? I still probably have a good amount of that, and I'm still under a constant barrage of it, in the present time. So, you have to do the work. You have to do the shadow work, and the shadow work never ends. And if you find yourself judging and laughing at people, then that is a telltale sign that you have an enormous amount of work left to do, and you're not doing it. You haven't even started. Like, understanding the New World Order and the eugenics and the transhumanism and the Satanism, that's just wading ankle deep. You got to keep going. And if you don't, if you don't dive right in, then they've probably got you. They probably have a leash around you to some extent, to a great extent, especially if you're making fun of people who don't see and who are part of it, and especially if you're hating. And also, like, there's a quote I'm going to finish with. I forget who was by, but if you only pray for the oppressed and not the oppressors, you're swimming in an ocean of delusion. Because those people who are doing, like, hell is a separation from God, and these people are completely and utterly separated from God. I posted a picture of Netanyahu on my Facebook today, and it was just a picture of his face, and you can just see the spiritual death in his eyes. That's hell. You are spiritually dead, and that to me is hell. You are completely and utterly separated from the beauty of this world, the beauty of creation, the beauty of your Creator that dwells within you, that's gone. You're like, the king, do you not know that that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit that dwells within you? They have purged the Holy Spirit from their temple. It is just a hollow shell full of mold and shit and just funk. That's their soul, gone. So we have to oppose those people and what they're doing forcefully, but we have to not allow hate to enter our hearts over it, because that's kind of how they keep you in the matrix, for you to have hate and bitterness and just that negative vibration. Like righteous anger is one thing, but it has to have a certain level of discernment and understanding behind it. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you there.